One of the very last things we're going to cover in relation to the Hasbro Fan First Friday was they talked about a little bit in partakes to the Quintesson 5-pack that we're going to be getting that was supposed to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And there's not really much to talk about than what was already discussed in my previous segment. But the Hasbro designer, Mark, did bring up a few interesting things, and I just want to touch on it. A few little behind-the-scenes stuff that was brought up in the stream. There was a mention that the Kranix figure, that in the future they'd like to use it again for Arborus. And for people who don't know who Arborus is, he was like the other Linton, pretty much, the one that got killed, depending on which continuity you're talking about. So they kind of want to revisit that mold and repaint it again in the future. So chances are we're going to see that little Kranix figure pop up at some point. My guess, probably another Hasbro Pulse like accessory pack thing. That makes the most sense, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do some kind of like Linton, Unicron set or something to go with the HasLab thing. Who knows? But there is mention that he'd like to see that little mold show up again somewhere at some point. He also points out how it's articulated at the arm, so it's not just a little standalone figure, which is pretty cool. They mentioned that the Sharkticon, despite the fact that it's just a straight-up repaint of the original Gnaw figure, the colors were actually taken as an homage to some early Fluro Deary concept colors, which anyone who knows like Fluro Deary, when he did those early designs and concepts for a majority of the Transformer the movie product, a lot of it was in wacky colors or unique colors. I mean, Google like Ingestor Unicron, and he had like purples and all kinds of weird colors. And so they kind of based it off of those early colors of the early Sharkticon ideas that Fluro Deary had. And I believe he has a blog somewhere that a lot of his stuff is on there. It's very Jack Kirby inspired, and I wouldn't be surprised if that who his influence was. And it's a good influence to lean onto. He also mentioned how the Quintesson Prosecutor has articulation on his head, which he himself did not realize until he messed with the figure after it was finished its production, and that his energy stand, because all the Quintessons, they kind of like hover using energy. His energy stand is actually also a blast effect point, so you could actually still use it with other Transformers and stuff, so it clips off, which is pretty cool. So that's another little nod too also. Again, little things here and there that people would normally learn if they open the package and mess with it for the first time. And the last thing that he mentioned was the incredible Sharkticon / Judgement courtroom kind of thing. The packaging was actually done by a member in Hasbro's packaging group called AJ, and he did an incredible job. And so props to AJ for all of that, and pretty much, in my opinion, almost the biggest selling point of this whole thing. And now we have like a really good shot of how it looks in the packaging. And it's like I said, it's one of those things that you look at it and go, do you even want to take it out of the box? It looks that good. Like I know that a while back they did a New York Comic-Con Prime exclusive, and it was another one of those where the packaging is so nice is that you don't even want to take it out of the box. Sometimes those cardboard backgrounds that the figures are situated in just look so cool, except this one's like an iconic scene from the 86 movie, and why would you want to mess with that and take those figures out and place them loosely in your display when you could just have it mint in box sitting like that? I mean, obviously it ruins the whole enjoyment of messing with the figures, but man, oh man, does that thing look good. So those were just a few little behind the scene things that they wanted to just bring up that a lot of people didn't know, because obviously that was yet another piece of news that leaked the day before officially through different sources and stuff before the stream happened. So it gave them an opportunity to kind of give something fresh that hasn't been already discussed. And everything else, again, they talked about Grease Pit, they talked about exhaust and everything. It's funny, they mentioned in the exhaust thing quickly, they're like, hey, Johnny Warden, he did a little secret with all these Tempograph logos here on exhaust, so we won't know for sure what he meant by those. And it's like, go check out Proto-Man's Twitter. I kind of decoded all of that, but then again, most people would have figured it out anyways with the tobacco-related connections with exhaust's history. But yeah, anyhow, this is cool stuff. I'm really excited about all of it. Again, Fan First Friday, while it didn't completely deliver as some people had hoped, in terms of, I guess they were hoping for like Kingdom stuff and maybe some other stuff. They didn't talk about RED, so they didn't touch more on that line and everything with the 6-inch figure line. But otherwise, it was a pretty good thing. I think overall, it seemed like this Fan First Friday was primarily exclusives, because they talked about Walmart exclusives, Amazon exclusives, and stuff that was going to be San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, but ended up just being, I guess, a Hasbro Pulse exclusive ultimately in the end with the Quintesson 5-pack. So still pretty cool stuff. I dig it a lot. Hopefully we're going to see another one of these in the future, and we'll get more information, more product on it. I know that they afterwards did a G.I. Joe stream with Mark, the same individual. He did a G.I. Joe stream right after that one. And a lot of stuff was revealed there. It looks like G.I. Joe is going to be doing a also kind of a reissue line where they're reissuing good stuff within the history of that brand. And if you haven't got the world's best Baroness figure that you could have with your Ravage, now's a good time. You could pick one up. That's they're going to be doing a reissue of the best Baroness figure from the Cobra 5-pack back in 2009. So you could pick her up and put her with Ravage and reenact your Devil's Due / Dreamwave Ravage / Baroness scene and stuff. So definitely, anyways, check that all out. Pretty cool stuff. I dig it.